Hello class. Time and again I have reminded you of the proper way of negotiating an instrument. If it is a bearer instrument, then how will you negotiate? You negotiate by delivery. If it is an order instrument, how will you negotiate? Negotiate by endorsement perfected by delivery. The delivery class renders validity in making the transferee a holder thereof. So it's the delivery that converts a simple transferee to becoming a holder. There are different types of holders class. No? We have the holder, simply the simple holder, which is covered by section 51, the holder for value, which is covered by section 26, and the holders in due course, which is covered by section 52 and sections 57. Today, we're going to discuss Chapter 4, and Chapter 4 deals with the rights of a holder. Section 51, rights of a holder to sue the payment. The holder of a negotiable instrument may sue thereon in his own name. If he is not paid, then he can sue on the instrument. And payment to him in due course discharges the instrument. So Section 51 defines what is an ordinary holder. He is the person entitled to sue on the instrument, and he is the person who is entitled to receive payment. And payment in due course to a holder, to any holder, discharges the instrument. Section 51 again defines a simple holder. Section 26 class is Section 26 defines who is a holder for value. No? Sinabi natin last time that a holder for value receives the instrument for a valuable consideration, and in the absence of any explanation, every holder is assumed to be a holder for value. No? A holder in due course is always a holder for value, but it's not all the time that a holder for value is a holder in due course. Now, let us discuss Section 52. Section 52 defines what is a holder in due course. What constitutes a holder in due course? Section 52. A holder in due course is a holder who has taken the instrument under the following conditions. Letter A, that it is complete and regular upon its face. Ibig sabihin, pagkita niya ng instrument, it's complete. No blanks. No blanks in the instrument. And it is regular in its face. The ordinary face of a bill of exchange and a promise or a promissory note. Letter B, that he became a holder of it before it was overdue, and without notice that it has been previously dishonored if such was the fact. No infirmity, no facial infirmity. Walang at the onset na makita mo ay infirm ito, no? That he took it for good faith and for value. In letter C, take note of the word for value. This indicates that every holder in due course is a holder for value. And letter D, that at the time it was negotiated to him, he has no notice of any infirmity on the instrument or defect in the title of a person negotiating it. What is the objective? To be a holder in due course. Because a holder in due course class, a holder in due course is always paid, especially if the defense raised by the person primarily liable or secondary liable is just a personal defense. Ang hindi lang pwede i-enforce ng holder in due course class pag inallege ng person primarily or secondarily liable that the defense, that's why I'm not going to pay you, is a real defense. It's a real defense. But for personal defenses, a holder in due course can collect. Okay? So those are the things that you have to remember. Now, now. Section 53. When is a person not deemed a holder in due course? Ito na yung presumption kung kailan siya hindi magiging holder in due course. When an instrument payable on demand is negotiated after an unreasonable length of time after its issue. Take note class, when I say issue, it's coming from the maker to the payee or coming from the drawer to the payee. No? If it is not negotiated for quite some time, hindi ka agad-agad ni-negotiate, the length of time after its issue, the holder is not deemed to be a holder in due course. Why is that so? Because the presumption there is that if you receive a negotiable instrument, ang outer presumption is that you negotiate it, no? Kasi yan ang essence ng negotiable instrument eh. Pero kung matagal mong hindi ginegotiate, the presumption there is that the recipient or the transferee is not a holder in due course. Section 54. Notice before full amount paid. Where the transferee receives notice of any infirmity on the instrument, like let us say ginotify siya, no? Oy, there is want of consideration, no? Receives notice on the infirmity on the instrument or defect in the title of the person negotiating it, as when the person negotiating it is a minor. The same before he had fully paid the amount agreed to be paid thereof, he will be deemed a holder in due course only to the extent of the amount therefore paid by him. Okay, so that is section 54, section 55, section 55 enumerates or tells us when the title is defective. A title of a person who negotiates an instrument is defective within the meaning of this act when he obtained the instrument or any signature thereof by fraud, duress, or force or fear, or other unlawful means, or for an illegal consideration, or when he negotiates it in breach of faith or under such circumstances as to amount to a fraud. So these are the instances where you say that the title of the transferor is defective. What constitutes notice of defect? And that is discussed in section 56. To constitute notice of an infirmity in the instrument or defect in the title of the person negotiating it, the person to whom it is negotiated must have an actual knowledge of the infirmity or defect or knowledge of such fact that his action in taking the instrument amounted to bad faith. So it is actual knowledge, no? Actual knowledge. Now, what are the rights of a holder in due course? A holder in due course holds the instrument free from any defect in the title of prior parties and free from defenses available to prior parties amongst themselves, and may enforce payment on the instrument for full amount thereof against all parties liable thereto. Hindi niya lang ma-enforce if the defense is a real defense. Okay? So, eto, na? Examples of real defense. By the way, let me again emphasize, if it is a personal defense, the holder in due course can collect. If it is a real defense, then the holder in due course could not collect. What are the examples of real defenses? Letter A, na? Example of real defenses, incapacity as far as incapacitated person is concerned. So, if the party primarily liable or secondarily liable will raise the issue of incapacity, then that is a real defense. Letter B, another example of a real defense, illegality of contract when declared by law. Na? And letter C, want of delivery of an incomplete instrument. Diba na-mention na natin ito? An instrument that is incomplete and undelivered, that is a real defense. Of course, forgery. And also want of authority, apparent and real. Duress amounting to forgery. No? When, as where one takes the hands of the other and forces him at gunpoint to sign his name. Fraud in factum and fraud in esse contractus. These are real defenses. Fraudulent alteration by the holder, prescription, and other infirmities appearing on the face of the instrument, discharge, or after maturity. These are examples of real defenses. So if these are the defenses raised by the person primarily liable, even if you are a holder in due course, you could not collect on the instrument. What are the examples of personal defenses? Filling the wrong date, di ba? Sinabi natin doon, is just a matter of personal defense. Letter B, filling up the blanks not in accordance with the authority given and within reasonable time, that is also a personal defense. Want of a delivery of a complete instrument, that is a personal defense. Okay, class, incomplete and undelivered, real defense. Okay? Complete undelivered, that is personal defense. Or incomplete but delivered, that is a personal defense. So, kumbaga, isa lang mali, no? Okay, personal defense. Pero pag dalawa sila mali, no? Incomplete and undelivered, then that is a real defense. Okay, let us continue. Personal defenses, absence or failure of consideration. We have discussed this already. Simple fraud or fraud in inducement. Nandito ang principle ng let the buyer beware or caveat emptor or yung usual exaggerations in trade. Those are fraud in inducement or simple fraud. Acquisition of the instrument by duress, force, and fear. No? Not the signature, but the acquisition of the instrument. But if it is the signature that was forged, no? That is another story. That is a real defense. But the acquisition of the instrument that was already signed, then that is only a personal defense. Acquisition of an instrument by unlawful means, na? Acquisition of instrument by an illegal consideration, negotiation in breach of faith, negotiation under circumstances that amount to fraud, innocent alteration or spoliation, set off between immediate parties, discharged by payment or renunciation or release thereof upon maturity, discharge of the party secondary liable by discharging of the prior parties, and want of authority by the agent. These are examples of personal defenses. Again, class, no? Again, if you are a holder in due course, you could not enforce on the person's liable if it is a real defense. But if it is a personal defense, then you can enforce on the instrument. Okay? May isang ano dito, class glitch, no? What if you are not a holder in due course, no? If you are not a